So,
Hello, everyone.
yeah,
Yeah,
go
welcome
ahead.
to the weekly SIG Compute meeting. Yeah, Vladik, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I think we need to start with things that are, not progressing. We could go over the tracker as well, but if anyone here on the call wants to, you know, flesh out the things that are need attention, then I think this is what we need to start with.
So I put that the first one. It's Itamar is back, so we can close it. I hope quickly. The feature gate stuff. Um, there was
Yeah,
like yeah. So that's
sorry. Yeah, I just want to say that I was gone for a few weeks, as you know. So yeah, I'll definitely have another look at that. I saw that there are a few reviews there.
yeah. If you want like a few sentences, then my summary of the review is that there is one suggestion that it got several plus ones about. I will classify it as the nicest API, something like that. The disadvantage of it is that it is not backward compatible, and you need to keep two things at the same time. And the other option, as I see it, as is relevant, is that you just extend it and you don't break anything from the past. You just add another list. That's the second one that I find. That will work. I gave several references of why this is problematic. But anyway, that's my 2 cents here. If we can close it, then you can talk with me tomorrow if you want to have a deeper discussion.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, and I'll look at the review. To be honest, like I don't. I mean, I'm pretty open about this. Like each one of these have these pros and cons, and I'm like open to hearing feedback, and as long as we find a consensus over something. So yeah, for sure. Thank you for your review.
Sure, and I think this maybe after we discuss this, it will be maybe useful to, I don't know, to have another meeting just about APIs because the some concepts we are breaking. I mean, we broke and we are breaking sometimes. For example, doing the same thing in two ways. So we should talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Is there a
yeah,
way?
and so,
Is there a way that both of you see how we can converge before the like before the beginning of the holidays?
so Eddie, if I understand you correctly, you find approach number 3 plausible, right? Because it basically adds another field that didn't exist before. And there is the fourth approach, right? These are the ones that you like.
I think I said number three. I think I said number three. The fourth approach is so there were good reasons not to, but I think I said that the third is like the cleanest, looks to me. But we can talk. I said we can talk about it. You are in deep into this for a long time, so maybe you'll convince me otherwise. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that I mean I think that this approach is great, and I do understand what you're saying that we don't add another API field that and basically add two ways to do the same thing. The only con about this one is that if we will need to expand the configuration further, we will need another field, right? I mean, if something else would pop up, like not just enable or not enable. So, for example, I don't know what will want in the future, but I don't know. Enable it if something is happening. Enable it for some nodes, whatever. I don't know. If this will be needed, we will need another field.
Yeah, I don't think feature gates we should have this enable this more than enable disable, but and we have Kubernetes as an example. I don't think they have it. If-
Yeah, you're probably right. With Kubernetes, it's a bit different because there it's yeah they like all of the feature gates are not basically expressed in the CR in any way. It's only like through non-Kubernetes stuff. So for example, the configuration that kubelets get or um, like um, um, runtime flags and stuff like that. But sure, I do understand your point, and I think that number three is a great candidate. Ali, what do you think?
Yeah, so I just wanted to supply use cases for the um, the point you raised, Itamar, on if you want to add something in the future. Um, the the use case is that let's say a particular flag is applicable only to word handler and word launcher. And if you want to express that here in the API, then the current form, approach number 3, will not be able to somehow be expressive enough for that.
Yes,
Yep, good
I
point.
hope that we will not need to. That's it.
Yeah, maybe another example that comes into my mind is like from version or something, or depend on a Kubernetes version for something. But yeah, it's all theoretical. It's really, I don't know. But on the other hand, like I agree that you're probably right, Eddie, that we would need only enable disable, and like also, if the feature itself requires like configuration, not the feature gate, but the feature itself, we could just have a different configuration for the feature. We're talking about like a possibility of adding configuration only to the feature gate itself, which like I agree, it's a very theoretical thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
I had one more point. So I think we discussed this way back in the past that the Kubernetes API recommendation is to not have lists like that, instead have named lists. Um, that would be one other con for this approach. I'm not sure if it is mentioned here. Uh, But yeah, if you guys discuss this particular API, can you please loop me into that discussion? I would be interested in following. And also, I plan to give a deep review today, um, if that is needed. I can go through this PR.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And by the way, what do you mean by named lists?
Oh, I think we had this conversation. Remember where the API conventions document in Kubernetes, they suggest that instead of having a list like this, we should always have a named list. So for example, feature gates, list item 0, name equals to incremental backup, and value equals to enable. I think that is the convention that is recommended in Kubernetes API, and they have very good reasons why to prefer that approach instead of having just a bare bone list like this. I can link you to that again, but I think that was one of the inspiration for uh, alternatives like approach number 1 and approach number 2 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I remember this document. I think that from what I recall, they basically suggested always using structs instead of like primitives like strings and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that was for server side apply and patch. Those things don't work when you have non-name lists in the API.
Yeah, so I think you're right, obviously. The problem is that in this case you also need to think about the previous, but maybe we can find something that has both. But
No, I also
what
have
I
a solution for that.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
there was a change in the persistent volume claim API, which was not backward compatible, and the Kubernetes ecosystem somehow figured out a way to do that. And the basic idea is that if you have a if you have a breaking API, uh, the way to make it backward compatible is to always have defaults, which can somehow translate this new API into the older API. And that way, the default puts the older API and automatically converts that into older API. And then with 3 releases, we can completely deprecate and remove the older API. I think that is the idea that was followed for persistent volume claim. I can link you to that particular issue if that helps break this convention.
Yeah, please do.
Right. Let's use the rest of the time for other things. Yeah, and yeah, we definitely need to convert this one. It was a couple of releases already, and didn't go far.
There is one item on the agenda.
Okay, let's do that. So this is about the Web 144, right?
Yep. Yeah, come on.
That's mine. We discussed about it last week. Initially, it was thought to be something that was related to just network binding plugins, but we discussed that this should be like a more general solution that could be just used not only but by network binding plugins, but also for some like to cover other VM conditions that could need from different memlock R limit requirements and things like that. So just for your information, I just pushed a new version of the web to the same PR, covering these new ideas. So my question now is, it was initially tagged as SIG network. Should I tag it instead as SIG compute?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's not a compute. Yeah, from my point of view. And yeah, we need more eyes to it. Time is running out.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I would just tag it after this meeting, and yeah, I'm not sure if I should explicitly CC any of you into the PR or if it is just enough with the SIG tag.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I know. I just remember that our talk is the I was left in the last talk with a question mark. We don't have to discuss it now, but I hope we can can be discussed later. Is that Vladik, please correct me or anyone else here that we have a VM memory that is specified. We have overheads that we calculate and add, and there is even a specification of what memory we should ask for beyond the VM, something like that. I think it includes the VM, but I'm not sure. And all of this memory is locked. And this is where I got lost in the end. Like all the memory that is beyond it's getting locked, and that's it. There is no special memory that only a portion of it is locked. And then I lost this. That's the point that I lost.
What we have today is basically an API that requests locking memory based on something, based on the device, based on a knowledge that this specific VM is a sorry, not high performance, but real-time kernel involved, or it has SEV or some other exotic devices, and then based on that, Vert Handler will lock the memory. But and then if you add more memory to the overhead, that additional memory will be locked as well. And so there's no way to really declare from a user perspective that, and it has a rightful way to declare that it needs that memory locked. So there's no such an API on the VM level declaring that yes, I want my memory locked.
But you said now that everything is locked.
If you have some kind of if you have a device or something that you can communicate to Virt handler based on which it will decide to lock the memory, that you will need that lock. If you don't have that, then it won't be locked. How can I explain it better? Tell me.
You are saying that only in some condition it will lock the memory?
Yes, exactly. So Virt
okay.
Virt handler understands that it needs to lock memory for VFIO, needs to understand that it locks the memory for SEV, and it needs to lock the memory if the VM is defined as real time. So it's kind of coming from this philosophy that it needs to do the right thing by itself without additional APIs. But here, this is a great example of a VM owner need the way to express that yes, I want that memory locked. Yes, I'm using that memory all the time. It's important for me to be locked to lock it. Then I think it's we don't have such an API.
Yeah, it's like the only thing that is a bit worrying me, but let's not discuss it here, is that we get yet another way to define memory, something like that.
No, not define memory, but say I want it locked. It's my dedicated. If you gave it to me, don't take it away. It's
No,
mine.
but it is a minimal, because this locking is saying this is the minimum memory that I'm expecting to get, because even if I calculate it, I need only 1 gig. Because of this configuration, I will resize it to 2 gig. I know about this, so please give me the minimum of 2 gig in advance. So this is another way to allocate it.
No, it's not like that. If my
This is the
VM,
only reason. Sorry.
no, but if my VM needs additional overhead, it will be calculated based on all kind of different parameters, and then all of that has to be locked.
Yes, I mean, yes, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that the reason that we are locking in general is because Livet will create will fork, and then only then it will realize that it needs to resize the memory. And we are trying, if the resize is bigger than the memory that was forked, it needs to do an operation that is privileged, and this is why we locked it in the first place. So it will not require this.
But for real time VMs, it's not because of that. It's because of other reasons.
Okay, I don't know about. I know that it fails on the resize. That's the.
Yes, of course it fails on resize, but because it doesn't know that it needs more memory.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even know that it needs to lock that memory. So I'm just saying that there must be something that from the user perspective that can say that I need that memory locked. Wherever there's a device or no device, I just want my memory locked. It's mine.
Okay, I think it's clarified. Thanks.
Okay, thank you both. And then I had another question, but I think that we could just cover it in the web, and that's completely fine. So yeah, just final detail. If I understand correctly, Virt handler is not actually locking any memory, but letting the underlying processes lock up to that memory limit.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, nothing else. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wants to talk about their webs or that need some attention or reviews?
Yeah, I don't think that we'll have enough time to go over the whole tracker. So I'm not sure. Maybe there's a better use for that time.
By the way, did we already determine which webs will be tracked and everything? Last time I checked, the tracker needed some cleaning and stuff. We can do this offline. Just wanted to check.
Yeah, there are some webs that I don't understand what's going on with them, but in general, the idea was that the webs that are continuing from previous release and just hanging in here for the because it's already everything is approved. It's just there is more work that needed to be done, so it's already tracked, and the new ones are proposed for consideration. So in that order.
Tamar, can you please move Web 21 to beta?
Yeah.
Thank you.
21. Great.
Thank you very much.
Yep, and I will also go through this offline and see if everything is set here. Alrighty, so anything else from anyone?
No.
Cool. So let's close this off 5 minutes early. Thank you, everyone, and yeah, see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
See ya.